in many ways, the experience has been, I think, a lot more perhaps positive than I was preparing myself for, because in many ways it's quite a success story of a really like well-run initiative. Obviously, it's had 26 years now to establish itself, so all the infrastructure is in place to make sure that people are well fed and there are medical supplies and people have shelter, and so there isn't an obvious sense of need. But in contrast to that, and there's a real humour in the people, you know, and you see people laughing, and the guy we met yesterday, who'd been here for 26 years, I mean he was also just got his resettlement in Australia, but he seemed very like jovial. But in contrast to that, when you speak to the people and you kind of like in the most limited way possible through translation and not really knowing these people very well, you try and piece together why they're here and the story behind why they came here. You see a kind of a much darker side of it all, which I guess just brings out the light of this place. The darker side of all these stories that is the reason these people have ended up here, I'll never know or see, but you get a sense of this contrast between that darkness and between the real sense of like peace and hope that is offered here. And though it's only temporary and it's not ideal, it's a refuge, you know, for people that have nowhere else in the world really at this moment to feel safe and to feel looked after. And I think that's a really important and quite beautiful thing. The work that Thai-Burmese does here to make sure that all the refugees are fed and that they all have a house over a shelter over their heads, I think is really, really fantastic.